Okay, I'm gonna watch this Daily Wire trailer. Oh my god. So, it's doing the exact, like, it's so funny. Like, I haven't even clicked on it. I'm like, this is exactly that. They all got the cue, and it's just so in line. And I just see like quarterings, you know, Ryan. Is that who I was talking? There was a while where I was referencing this sphere, and I think I said Ryan, but I forgot the whole rest of their thing's name. This is very funny. It's funnier seeing this just right underneath it than, like, I haven't even watched the trailer yet, but it's just it's so. There's a reason why Daily Wire is doing it. It's because obviously, like, people are going after The Sound of Freedom. People realize, well, maybe more explicitly now, that there's a certain fraction of the population that may or may not be right-leaning that will actively promote things not really based on the quality of them, but based on the political messaging behind it. And so if you're the Daily Wire and you're actively releasing, like, we're doing Snow White, but it's not woke, of course there are going to be people that blindly support it. It's so funny. Man. The Rachel Ziegler stuff, what's the story behind it? She said that the original story was outdated and that she was going to make a more feminist version or something. And there's just a lot of people that are yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I guess okay. 4K. See how easy it is? The Daily Wire can do it, you fucking idiots. See how easy it is? Sorry.
Once upon
Oh my god. Sorry. Okay. One of the criticisms I have against the newer Disney films, I know that this is not Disney. One of the criticisms I have is the egregious auto-tune. This doesn't seem to be providing a safe alternative to that. This seems to be providing more of the same. But let's see. Int key. Very auto-tuning. Oh yeah, I was gonna adjust the volume. Like, why not? It's fucking public domain. Why not? Like, if I was thinking about money, I was the Daily Wire, I would also create another Snow White, because in every conversation about the new Snow White, you know, people will be like, but this one's not woke, so you should support this one, regardless of what the movie's like. Although, to be fair, the new Disney one's going to be shit. It's going to be awful. 100% it's going to be awful.
In time, a prince would come.
Apple.
Once upon...
They look, for some reason, the squirrel seemed massive. Like, this seems like the type of shot that you'd do if you were trying to convince the audience that it was like a giant squirrel. It's a very interesting way to start showing this character. If it's a character, I mean, I've seen the original. I don't remember there being a squirrel character.
Once...
Bunch of dwarfs. Are we gonna... I'm gonna assume that the new movie is not going to use the word dwarf. That the Disney one is not going to.
Upon a time, but now that...
The color grading is not bad. I like the color grading. It doesn't look like a bad movie in that sense. Like this shot I like, actually.
Time is gone.
Femme Shapiro is white. And the evil... What? You don't even use the seven dwarf? What are you doing? I thought you were supposed to... Oh, is maybe... Oh, I bet the title... So the Fable of Snow White is probably public domain, but Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs as a title is probably still copyrighted by Disney. So that's why. That's probably why. Bent Keys, Snow White, and the Evil Queen. That's so funny. This is great. I'm just like, oh, Bent Key. Oh, the next generation of kids entertainment. What is this? Is this also on the Daily Wire channel? It is.
Slovenia.
Sorry? Okay, I need subtitles. Holy shit, what the fuck? Is auto-generated better now?
Hello from Lake Bled in beautiful Slovenia.
Okay, Lake B. So the auto-generated gave up.
It's been just a little over 1 year since Disney, the most powerful entertainment company in the world, got caught saying the quiet part out loud. Namely, that they were using their brand, a brand parents have been trusting with their children for generations, to indoctrinate those children into the LGBTQIA cult.
Wow. Okay.
In a leaked video, one of Disney's executive producers said she's implementing a, quote,
okay,
not at all secret gay agenda, and is regularly...
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so... How do I even begin to like attempt to... Is deprogram the right word? Like, it's one of those things where it would take like an entire Kimba video, you know? And I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. Like, conversations about art are so much more complicated than one producer on a project being like, oh yeah, I think having gay people in something is a good thing. And when they say gay agenda, they're not literally saying like, oh, we're trying to make every kid trans, actually. Like, nobody said that. Literally nobody said that. You took some vague thing that people said about like, oh yeah, we are trying to make trans people more accepted or something. And then you're like, okay, well, see, they said it. And then you're just never going to let it go. And this is going to be what you use to justify like every single thing that you say for the next fucking 20 years. Because like, it was like that San Francisco gay men's choir thing. Did I react to that? Did I react to that on YouTube? Where they're like, we're coming for your children. And it was so obviously satirical and ironic. And the whole point of the video, the whole point of the song was to say like, hey, like progress is going to happen. Kids are going to not hate gay people as much, right? If gay people are in media and society in a way where it isn't this weird taboo thing that for some reason a lot of conservatives are trying to keep as taboo and bad and wrong, even though it's just fucking people. It's just people, okay? It's literally just people. Holy shit. It's not evil people, it's just people. Right? I just... That was used in the exact same sense and exact same context as like, look, see, they're saying it. They're saying it. See? When it's just like, okay, one small group of people, right? There's a San Francisco choir saying something that is so obviously playing on the idea. It is so obviously playing on the, like, the trope or the fear that is, it's an obvious response to something, right? It's an obvious like, oh, hey, the conservative talking point is that we're coming for your children. And so making a song being like, yeah, we are. Children aren't going to be hateful in the future. Deal with it, right? And then conservatives take that and they go like, see, look, there is a secret Jewish cabal trying to make all of your kids trans. And so the ultimate goal is so that because if you're gay or trans, that means you can't shoot a gun. And so the army will be weaker for China. And so that China will wage war against us in 50 to 80 years when 100% of the population is gay and trans. And they'll go, we can't shoot a gun. Didn't you hear? We're too queer to do that. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. And it's so sad. And oh, God, it's so sad. It's sad and depressing and frustrating. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what the solution is in terms of like trying to make a huge, well, not actually that huge, but a very vocal portion of the population less renegade, less it started, less just... What do you even do? What do you even do? It's so weird. I guess what you do is you just exist and not be fucking like absolutely insane and then just wait for them to die out. Because that's literally just what happens over time throughout history is, you know, societies become less conservative over time as just old people die. But it seemed... I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to do.
Adding queerness to her kids' shows. And it's not just the queerness Disney is promoting. In the show Proud Family, Disney stirs racial division with songs like Slaves Built This Country, where kids rap about descendants of slaves earning reparations for every minute they spend submerged in, quote, systematic prejudice, racism, and white supremacy. Walt Disney loved America. The company he founded thinks America is systemically racist. And beyond just their content, Disney as a corporation pushes all the worst excesses of the woke left, paying for its employees to travel for abortions, promoting quote-unquote anti-racism indoctrination of its employees, and going to war on behalf of radical left-wing social policy in Florida. It would be impossible to overstate.
Sorry, what?
Social policy in Florida of its employees and going to war on behalf of radical left-wing social policy in Florida.
And going to war on behalf of radical left-wing social policy in Florida. Okay. I'm going to assume that has to do with like the whole DeSantis fucking weird exceptions Disney had about running themselves as like a governing state or something and then taking away those things because they have woke things in films, and I don't know.
Florida. It would be impossible to overstate just how big a loss this is.
It's difficult to catch up with every talking point. It's difficult to catch up with every single one.
For Americans who believe in basic reality, Disney controls the greatest content library ever created. Their cultural reach, particularly with children, is beyond anything that's ever existed. Recognizing the scope of this loss, the Daily Wire announced that we would spend $100 million over 3 years to begin our own kids' entertainment company. And today, on the 100th anniversary of the day Walt Disney founded his company, I'm proud to announce the launch of ours. Introducing Bent Key, an entirely new company from the Daily Wire, a company dedicated to creating the next generation of timeless stories to transport kids into a world of adventure, imagination, and joy. Why the name Bent Key?
Just bring back 2D animation. Just bring back 2D. If you want to spend money on 2D animated films, you can kick Disney's ass, okay? Do that. That's what I want.
Why not DW Kids, as we've been calling the initiative for the last year? Well, put simply, DW Kids is just too political. Bent Key isn't about teaching kids politics. It's about childhood and wonder and adventure. It's about values and all of the things on which politics are built later. We didn't just come up with a new name, though. We built an entirely new app that's available on all the most popular devices. There are over 100 episodes available right now today.
Is this a Bluey ripoff? Ahab Goes Bananas.
Available right now.
Okay.
Today on the Bent Key app. And there will be new episodes released every single Saturday morning. That's right. We're bringing back Saturday morning cartoons. Here's a preview.
Did it say TV 14 for that? Oh, it does. What the hell? Is this for kids? Oh, yeah. 14 and up is still, you can do kids shit. That is a weird rating, though. That is a really weird rating for something that they're saying is for kids. 14A is like most R-rated movies in Canada.
Episodes available right now today on the Bent Key app. And there will be new episodes released every single Saturday morning. That's right. We're bringing back Saturday morning cartoons. Here's a preview.
Hi, you made it.
Oh, hello.
Oh, shit. Fuck it.
I've seen enough. These two are ready.
Ready or not, here we go.
You know, if they don't have like explicit political messaging in it, and they want to make money doing it, like I'm not actually opposed to this. I don't care. This if people wanted to show their kids this is not like a big deal. The PragerU kids thing, that's a little so far in the direction of like this is just content for homeschooled children, like you're trying to grow them into you're trying to grow them up in an alternate reality when you raise your kids on PragerU, and when they when they move out and start interacting with the real world, that'll be when the child abuse nature of what you've done to them comes into play. that'll be the moment where it's like, oh, you've created someone that doesn't really function in a regular society.
Please keep your arms and legs inside the car at all times.
Hurry up, the party is...
Oh my god! This is a French movie, right? It's from the what the hell? This is not even original content. What was it called? Yeah, Ernest and Celestine. Right. That's literally what that is. Why is that in this? Fuck it. I mean, like, if they have a kids app and they want to put fucking Ernest and Celestine on it, cool. I don't care. Yeah, this is good. This is not like a bad. It's just it's kind of interesting how they're just curating non-woke content, is what it seems. But I'm kind of interested to see what that turns out to be, right?
Yeah, the party is starting soon.
Where's he going? We're going on a treasure hunt.
So a lot of this is just, I guess I don't know how much of this is just not original content then.
Exploring the wild blue yonder!
It's chiller time!
Runes. The Collection? Is there a show? I only saw the movie. No, I wouldn't, no. I wouldn't, you wouldn't, first of all, the creator of it isn't necessarily who owns the rights to it, right? Oh, The Collection. TV series 2017 to 2021. I didn't even know this existed. I'll put that on my watch list. Even though the movie was like not the most amazing thing ever, it was good, but yeah. I wouldn't. Who cares if they're licensed to this? I don't know if I would. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Pretty incredible.
It's unbelievable.
Whether big or little or big, we all have fabulous adventures together.
Wow.
It's time to head off for adventure.
Look around you. All we need is the big news.
Imagine.
All I see is adventure.
And download the new app, and here's what you'll find. Over the last year, we've produced 4 original series that we're calling
there we
Big
go.
Sea Adventures. The first one is called A Wonderful Day with Mabel McClay. And it's about a wonderful character named Mabel and her trusty sidekick, Jasper, her pup. They get into all kinds of adventures. They sing songs, they read books, they build gadgets, they meet neighbors. They encourage kids in this fast-paced world to slow down and take a minute to wonder. We have Chip Chilla, the first show we ever announced for the platform, now fully realized. Chip Chilla is about a family of chinchillas who homeschool, a mom and a dad who create a world of excitement.
They made one of their original shows is literally like the most relatable thing for. They're like, we want more homeschooled kids representation so that they don't feel ostracized in society, but we don't want to show trans or gay kids in our media. We want to show homeschooled kids. We want to create something for the most oppressed group. The homeschooled. Literally, I mean, you do have a tougher time socially if you're homeschooled, because you're not really put out into the world. You're not really like prepared socially in the same ways that not homeschooled kids are going to be. So you could argue that they do need some support.
We have Chip Chilla, the first show we ever announced for the platform, now fully realized. Chip Chilla is about a family of chinchillas who homeschool, a mom and a dad who create a world of excitement where little Chip and Charla and baby Chubbly discover everything from world history to classic books and...
Oh, God. Okay, so this one seems the most interesting, because this one seems very... Is this AI art? This one seems very... not political. and I'm kind of interested to see how they approach it.
History to classic books and how to care for others. It's a celebration of a deeply loving family that has a blast learning all of life's lessons. Then there's Kid Fit Go, a dynamic and exciting take on fitness. Kids can join our kid instructors for a fun approach to exercise. You're going to love these shows. So will your kids.
You're going to love these shows.
Well, that's a lot of original offering.
I mean, if they want to make this and people want to pay for it, who cares? It's free market.
And buy it. Many of you already have. For all of our Daily Wire Plus members who've been with us for years, or even those who joined us recently, thank you. This wouldn't be possible without your support.
Wait, are you saying it's free for Daily Wire Plus members?
Many of you already have. For all of our Daily Wire Plus members who've been with us for years, or even those who joined us recently, thank you. This wouldn't be possible without your support. And now, with your annual membership to Daily Wire Plus, you'll also get access to the entire world of BintKey for no extra charge.
Nice.
Just download the BintKey app and use the same Daily Wire Plus login that you already use, and your family can start enjoying all this brand new content right now. BintKey is also available as a standalone purchase for just $99 a year. That's $99.
I mean, so how much is that monthly? That's less than $9 a month. That still seems a little pricey. Like, I don't even think Apple TV Plus is that expensive, right? At this point, I don't know. I guess if you're making a streaming service, you operate at a loss first anyway.
To help us build the future we all want to see. $99 to build an alternative that we can trust. $99 for great content that your kids will love to watch. You can get BintKey now at bintkey.com or download our app just about anywhere. It's taken 100 years to build Disney. Look, we know we aren't what Disney is today, but we hope in time we might become what they were once upon a time. A little studio with big ideas and the courage to chase them.
They showed another preschooler show rated TV-14. Very interesting.
Walt Disney.
So that was one of their original programming ones, and that was still rated TV-14, and it looked like it was for like toddlers, really. So I'm just kind of confused about that one. And like, was it rated by someone other than them? Was it rated by like an actual association?
He embodied the American spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation. He risked everything to build his dream. One of his greatest risks and greatest achievements was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Critics at the time called it Disney's folly. They were certain it would be a flop. It was 400% over budget, and it would have bankrupted the entire company if it didn't succeed. But it did succeed. It went on to become one of the top-grossing films of all time. Everything you see today from Disney was made possible by Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So there's no better example of Disney's disregard for their own heritage or their disregard for their own audience than their current remake of their own classic film. Walt once said about Snow White, quote, "To me, I thought it was the perfect story. I had the sympathetic dwarves. I had the prince and the girl, the romance. I just thought it was a perfect story."
The movie's like not even out. I don't even think there's a trailer. I don't even think there's a trailer for the new Snow White. It's literally just people getting mad at like two things that the person said in an interview. Right? Like it's crazy. It just seems so content starved to be making like all of these channels are making like several videos about the new Snow White thing, making really conclusive kind of definitive judgments on it. And it's gonna be shit. It's gonna be shit, like guaranteed. I just made a conclusive definitive judgment on it. But how do you stretch that into like so many videos? Like how do you stretch? I guess the whole point is just so that you can create a thumbnail and a title. Like the content itself doesn't matter. Just something that people click on. I get it. It's money, but like fuck, I just wish people had more. I just wish people had better standards when it came to creating like video content or commentary or art or whatever you want to call it. I couldn't. It seems so weird. The director's Mark Webb. Oh my God, no way. No way. You're making that up.
Good. Got it. Great. Good.
Unfortunately, the company Disney founded doesn't agree with their founder and visionary.
You're making that up.
They're remaking their own iconic film nearly 100 years later. They've decided to make some key changes. Their lead actress, the new Snow White, Rachel Ziegler, has summed it up, saying, quote, "I just mean, it's no longer 1937. We absolutely wrote a Snow White that she's not going to be saved by the prince and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be and the leader that her late father told her she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true."
That's like that statement is it's as if she'd said like the N-word or like, I don't understand. That seems like such a weirdly non-controversial thing to say, you know? Like, was it the tone of how she said it? I don't understand why people are so weird about it.
Years later, they've decided to make some key changes. Their lead actress, the new Snow White, Rachel Ziegler, has summed it up, saying, quote, I just mean, it's no longer 1937.
Okay. It's no longer 1937.
We absolutely wrote a Snow White that she's not going to be saved by the prince and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be and the leader that her late father told her she could be if she was.
And they're making a girl power movie.
Fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Wow. Like, there's so many other movies that have existed like that. I don't know, man. It's so, in the context of that being a statement about the film before its release, the proportional response to that just seems so bizarre. Of like, every one of these, let's call them fear-based commentators, where, you know, the narrative is that they're destroying society and this is why you need to watch the content. And it's not just movie content, it's movie content with the lens of, you know, who is destroying society. And they're after your kids and blah, 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 right? Everything that sort of leaves that as a narrative, regardless of how explicitly they say it, but has an audience filled of people that are in line with that. I could imagine, you know, people with that belief making a tweet. You know, maybe like if you're gonna get mad about it, get mad on Twitter. I couldn't imagine making so much YouTube content out of it. It just seems so non-substantive, you know?
While Disney still uses Walt's name, they've all but abandoned his legacy. Instead of telling stories about timeless truth, what the ancient fairy tales were all about, Disney's new Snow White is an apology for their past and will expose children to the popular but destructive lies of the current moment. Which is why, in addition to announcing the launch of our kids' entertainment company, I also want to announce today that company's first live-action feature film. It's a story about a princess and a prince, about beauty and vanity, about love and its power to raise us from death to life. It's our own adaptation of an ancient fairy tale. It's coming in 2024, and it's called...
Oh, the trailer at the end. Okay. So Snow White and the Huntsman, was that also kind of girl powery or what? Is that what you're saying? I never watched it. The fact that it's Brett Cooper is so funny. That's the funniest part. I love that it's Brett Cooper. I guess that's it. Wow. This is fascinating. So for those of you that don't know, just in case you're confused, Brett Cooper is she has a show. Well, she hosts a show for the Daily Wire called The Comment Section with Brett Cooper, where every Daily Wire pundit is basically just a person with a set. And this is no different, but
Welcome back to the
they pretend that it's like a real Twitch. This is a set. This is just a fake set, but they're pretending that it's like a girl Twitch streamer or something, when it's literally just a person. Yeah, it's an actor. It's a person reading the prompter for them, doing the same thing that Matt Walsh is doing, but it's trying to be like, ooh, this is a regular girl Twitch streamer, which I just find to be so hilarious that this exists, where you can just pump so much money into something and create like the whole setup of it is like dishonest and propagandic, right? Like that's so weird.
So vocally in support of a group that is...
This is like Lonely Girl 15, you know, if it were political. Could you imagine? You know, isn't that weird? The whole like, I'm a Twitch streamer, but it's literally just a Daily Wire show. It's produced the exact same. It's in the same studio. Like they have like a content studio. Anyway, I need to get to editing. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's absolutely bizarre. I don't know if I should wrap up my thoughts on the whole Daily Wire Snow White thing. Neither movie's going to be good. Neither movie's going to be good. Seeing Brett Cooper as Snow White is going to be fucking hilarious. That's going to be really funny. Yeah, if people here's what's weird about it. If Disney wasn't making a Snow White thing and the Daily Wire made their own without Disney making one, no one would watch it. Like no one's watching the Daily Wire Snow White because they think it's going to be like a good movie. They're just watching it completely driven out of spite. They're watching it as an anti, like, oh, the more money we give to this, the more we're telling Disney to suck it, which is also kind of how Sound of Freedom was promoted. Like, see, we're breaking the box office records to stick it to the woke movies. And because they don't want you to know about child trafficking. And they're trying to stop you from seeing the movie. I've never been in a theater before. Yeah, very Gina Carano's movie made like $800. Was that a Daily Wire movie? Terror on the Prairie. Oh. That was a Daily Wire movie. But that's the I mean, yeah, so after that failure, knowing that people won't see it just because Gina Carano's in it, they can now do what The Asylum did, which is trick people into seeing a different movie, you know, just make a competitor Disney movie. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it is. It's one of those things where it's funny that it exists. It's funny that it exists, and it's a very 2023 thing. The Disney blasted for woke show with Rachel Ziegler. Daily Wire trolls them with big announcement. And here's Rachel Ziegler saying, what the f***? She's so mad, and she looks nervous, and Brett Cooper looks confident. Woke Disney furious over this. I love how they have the exact same, like, text. The red and white, straight for Disney's throat! Oh my god. They have Rachel Ziegler doing the fucking... Oh, how do I get a larger image of that? The red eyes. Olivia, you just edit it. You can find the larger image. There's a... Maybe I can do this. Hold on. I'm trying to remember who it was. Yeah, like, okay. So, it's really funny because I don't... It seems like there's just a never-ending supply of this shit. It seems so bizarre. What is this title? Snow White will be the worst movie ever made. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to put in your title. And I guess people are clicking on it. Hilariously bad. That's not a bad title. How to Destroy Your Own Movie. I watched it. And it was just also kind of weird. 3.4 million views though. Like I get it. That's a lot of views. That's a lot of money. To just be able to make a 6-minute video about the actress said something woke. The actress said it's not 1939, and that instead of her needing to feel fulfilled by a prince, that she'll have her own goals and aspirations, and it'll be a different take on the classic fucking IP. That'll be a different take, and that it's not the same movie as 1939. And reality is that I don't know how that set people off in such a huge way. This is like, so the type of shit that I won't let go, the type of shit that I'll keep notoriously posting about is like Sniper Wolf doxing Jack's films. That gets me fired up. That shit's like, holy fuck, like you're a monster. You're an actual monster. Why would you do that to somebody? Like, you're a bad person. YouTube, the fact that they are platforming and supporting this person when they've demonetized people for jokes about doxing before. Unacceptable. And at the very least, they could be like Twitch and ban someone for like a month just so that they know that they did something wrong and that there's no repercussions or no attention being paid to like what they're doing, right? The fact that YouTube hasn't done anything about that, that's fucking insane. That gets me fired up. And it seems unrelatable to get what seems to be equally fired up, if not more, by the actress saying that it's going to be a different take on the movie and it's going to be feminist or something.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for.
So my character is meant to be jealous of her looks? Are you kidding me? Have they seen me? No one's going to believe that. This is so dumb. They should have cast her as one of the dwarfs.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and for a long time, Daily Wire has been talking about putting out more and more original programming. It started with like a furor, a fever. Like it started with a lot. It felt like.
Did he say furor? What?
Wire has been talking about putting out more and more original programming. It started with like a furor, a fever. Like it started.
Okay. I think he was supposed to be. Fervor seems like what he was trying to say. It is very funny that he said furor, given his recent controversy about his sponsor.
Not only the launch of their own children's programming, which I think is great, but also a direct, perfectly timed, I guess like snub or like troll of Disney by launching their own Snow White film, and it's got woke Rachel Zegler fans absolutely losing their minds. Now, I think the quality of Daily Wire movies,
it's got woke Rachel Zegler fans absolutely losing their minds,
in my opinion, have been middling. But I'm also like understanding that they don't have a $200 million budget and they're new at these things, and that it's still non-ideological programming, which I think is absolutely a far better thing. We're gonna get into all this after a super quick word from this video sponsor. This video is sponsored by Place Edition to the various build, ride, and fly designed bosses to Guild Wars. You can grind $50 using my and more starting October. YouTube sensation.
Big ad.
Look, I've been critical of the Daily Wire.
Thank you for the raid.
Past, and I think that that's totally fine, and I generally stand by those. But also, if you're going to be critical of somebody, you've got to give them their props when their props is due. And they are out there literally doing, creating culture instead of just sitting on the sidelines, for example, like me, and criticizing it. So I think that that's taking it to the next level, and that should be commended, whether or not you like.
I would argue that criticizing can be considered being a part of the culture, but I don't know. I don't know if this is entertaining at all. This quartering video. Oh wow!
Now, like Cartoon Network,
he publishes so many videos. 5 videos a day. This is crazy. Well, YouTube to ban its top female creator. That's not. YouTube hasn't commented on it. Why is that your title? These thumbnails, holy shit, these thumbnails from the quartering are insane. Like Jada Pinkett's got devil horns and Will Smith's eating a dog treat. And you can see the word dog pound in the background. That's crazy. There's so much, holy shit, there's so much going on in every one of these thumbnails. Okay. Epically torched. This is just, oh my god. So what I just
No way. That's great.
I think RK Outpost would be less boring, but I'm just
covered at length on this channel.
I'm just kind of fascinated by this for a second.
The Disney princess actress. Essentially, people hate
because I'm like, okay, so it's exhausting and impossible to go through every single one of all of their videos, right? I want to know why so many of them are acting like Rachel Zegler is blacklisted. Because my impression is that they would wait for the movie to come out and see if it's a flop before making those kinds of decisions. And even if, like, I just want to know where they get that information from. So if I search up, like, Rachel Ziegler blacklisted, Disney has refuted the accusations. Yeah, I'm just what? I want to even look up a source for Disney refuting it, because it seems like there. It's so weird. Oops, I just screenshotted my thing for no reason. It's okay. Here's a video that was just on the Google thing. Rachel Ziegler reacts to Hollywood blacklisting her after being fired. So is she fired? What do you mean fired? The movie's coming out, right? Hold on. Like, there's nothing supporting any of like I'm just struggling to find. This is what's so frustrating about this shit. Is that, like, they report on rumors that essentially they're responsible for creating, and they report on that as though they're fact, and then a bunch of people click on it and just get bad information. Isn't it? And that's just essentially what's happening on a larger scale with non-movie related things in American politics as well. And this is just, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Why are you perpetuating this sort of thing? And it seems like they don't care, and it seems like they're just in it for engagement. And I guess these websites perpetuate that by creating incentive structures for engagement without considering accuracy or honesty or longevity. Or it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. All right, I'm gonna watch the RK thing and just see what's going on. 113,000 views in one day. Man, wow, this is so funny. That 2 hours ago, there was a Reddit post making fun of the fact that this image is used, like, still. Everyone who hates Disney Star Wars is racist. Woke media desperate to... What? What? There hasn't been a new... Okay. This is crazy.
It took a long time for Disney to admit that they were failing when it came to Star Wars. Over a decade, in fact. But finally it happened. Just a few months ago, Bob Iger admitted they're being very careful with Star Wars because of all the failures they've seen. Not just in the box office, but also in the mainstream media. Is that fans walked away from Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is a disaster. There's no other way around it. And now with the recent failure of Ahsoka, you have woke activists pretending to be journalists who are once again trying to blame fans for all the failures of Disney. Geeks of Color Writer, which is just laughable in of itself, to be honest, but Geeks of Color Writer makes ridiculous claim that critics of Disney's terrible Star Wars movies and shows are white supremacists. Yes, all the white supremacists that just couldn't stand Rey and Kylo Ren. They just couldn't stand those actors, those white supremacists out there. Fucking wild. Again, you have...
Okay. So we don't have a link to the article. Okay, so I have to look up the article. All right, so I found the article. Bounding into comics, Geeks of Color Writer makes ridiculous claim that critics of Disney's terrible Star Wars movies and shows are white supremacists. So, the article here, based off of this Twitter thread, and then, so, okay, we have Twitter thread as the source. Then we have article. And then we have Ryan. And with each one of these claims is exaggerated from the beginning. And with each iteration, it gets more and more exaggerated, right? So this is not how you want to phrase yourself, right? If you want to say some people who don't like women or black people in movies will find comfort in a lot of the Star Wars centric, obsessive, fear-based YouTube content that seems to just love talking about Star Wars mostly. You could make that argument, but you would want to phrase yourself in a better way and not, not be easier bait for these people, right? This comes out. ridiculous claim that critics of Disney's terrible Star Wars movies and shows are white supremacists. This title is technically true in the sense that he's not saying all critics are white supremacists and racist, right? And this title is technically true in that sense, but it's not necessarily trying to, it's not really coming at it in the most charitable of ways in terms of what they know their audience kind of wants to hear. And then someone like Ryan gets a hold of it and they just fucking lie in their title. Everyone who hates Disney Star Wars is right. That wasn't said in the original. That wasn't said in this article. And it gets more and more exaggerated as it goes, right? You kind of just, you start with a source where it's just like, you shouldn't have phrased it that way, right? I can see what you're saying, maybe, but you're being a little divisive, and maybe you just posted cringe. Maybe you just posted some dumb shit on Twitter. And then with each fucking regurgitation in the human centipede, it gets more and more exaggerated to the point where literally they're just lying in the title. Everyone who hates Disney, like, no one's saying that. Literally no one says, nobody says that. You're just saying things that you know your audience wants to hear.
Yes, all the white supremacists, they just couldn't stand Rey and Kylo Ren. They just couldn't stand those actors, those white supremacists out there. Fucking wild. Again, you have Lando Calrissian, you have Mace Windu having prominent roles in Star Wars. I'm not saying it's the most diverse thing ever put on screen from that type of perspective, but let's not pretend like there was just never any black people in Star Wars, never any diversity in Star Wars. Of course there is. There has been for decades. But of course, because there's pushback against this character.
Sorry, what is...
A little bit of this. A lot of people forget this, but there's a direct correlation between the white supremacist crowd and the unbridled hatred of the Star Wars sequels. I saw in real time as they scattered out the Star Wars fandom as a potential haven for spreading their message of hatred, a thread. It started with the straightforward racist approach of hate on the Force Awakens because a black stormtrooper was one of the leads in the movies. When their target audience didn't fall in line with that blatantly racist take, they moved on to good old-fashioned misogyny. Yes, so the white supremacists, when it didn't work because guess what? Nobody actually had a problem with a black stormtrooper except the people that ignorantly thought they should still be clones at that point in time. That's the only backlash you had. But cards like this dumb piece of shit want to try to pretend like everyone was just mad because they were racist. We are seeing failure after failure. Star Wars has taken a nosedive off a cliff. It couldn't possibly be that fans are walking away because they think it's garbage.
I couldn't imagine reporting on Star Wars as if it was like the news. Someone said something about Star Wars and that's like the news. It's a weird and kind of fascinating and just bizarre world that we live in, where this is what the most important thing is to a lot of people. Well, a very, very vocal minority of people at any given point in time.
Garbage. It must be, because this person likes it probably, it must be some other ulterior motive. An entire thread about this bullshit. The hatred of Rey.
I don't think Rian Johnson is releasing a trilogy.
Point for Star Wars channels as soon as TFA came out. Nearly every corner of Star Wars YouTube featured this targeted campaign against Rey. Again, this is a movie that was massively popular. I remember that time period. I remember a couple people calling out. It was not as soon as TFA came out. In fact, there were a lot of people that are big Star Wars channels, even some of them who are still big Star Wars channels now, who just sat there and praised everything. Gobbled up Disney, and it's important to remember that it came from the same people, the same ones who were screaming and crying because there was a black lady in a movie, came from the same space as the originators of the hate movement against Rey. That's what we're dealing with. But all these people, everybody's had a massive problem with them. You know what? I remember a backlash towards Disney over the character of Finn because they shrank him on a poster. I remember the backlash.
It's weird how they have to do the pretending you're crying sort of thing when they're reading someone's tweet. That just seems like, were they crying when they were tweeting?
Yeah, and it's important to remember that it came from the same people, the same ones who were screaming and crying.
Because you seem pretty emotional about this.
Because there was a black lady in a movie, came from the same space.
like outside of you pretending you're crying, you seem very emotional about this.
The originators
Star
of the
Wars
movement against Rey. That's what we're dealing with. These people have been trying to do this for years at this point to explain away the failures of the Star Wars sequels and now the failures of the Star Wars series on Disney Plus. I told you when we saw the premiere numbers for Ahsoka, that was a disaster for Disney. It only got worse towards the end.
What I've come to learn in the past couple months is that there's a lot of people that view these films as like sacred institutions, like the Star Wars films. Isn't that? I think it's kind of weird, but there's a lot of people that put it in the same category as like your country, like mentally. This whole, I don't know, institutional, like respect this, otherwise the world is going to end sort of thing. Like, it's very weird.
lost 30% of its audience. Basically, the only show that it did better on the finale was than Andor, and it lost more of its audience than Andor did when it was all said and done. After a decade of Disney Star Wars, the fans have made it perfectly clear they don't like the direction that things are headed. Even the people that wanted to give it chance after chance after chance, even they have become very tired of all of this bullshit, and they are walking away as well. You can have stupid, weird, fucking woke freaks like this who pretend to be journalists come out and try to blame everything. It must just be all those bigots out there. Well, you know what? If you are right, if you are correct that it's just bigots that have a problem with it, you should be very worried about the entire.
They never said, like, how are you misinterpreting the article in that way? Like, not even the article said that. Nobody said it's just big. Like, literally nobody said. That's, oh my God. How can everything that you perceive be filtered in such a way where you come to the most exaggerated bad faith conclusions possible? Nobody said that. That's so weird.
The people that want to give it chance after chance after chance, even they have become very tired of all of this bullshit, and they are walking away as well. You can have stupid, weird, fucking woke freaks like this who pretend to be journalists come out and try to blame everything. It must just be all those bigots out there. Well, you know what? If you are right, if you are correct that it's just bigots that have a problem with it,
just bigot. Nobody said that.
You should be very worried about the entire world in general, because the vast majority of people have rejected Disney Star Wars. Not for the reasons you're alleging, but if that was the case, holy fuck, you should be worried. Maybe. It's just the fact that people don't like the content, that they don't like these characters, they don't like these stories, they don't like what Disney has done to this franchise. Weird, you're having similar things going on with other live action remakes. Weird, you're having similar things going on with everything they're doing with Marvel. It's almost like every aspect of Disney right now is struggling with this same pushback from the fan base. Maybe there's a trend there. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with people being bigots as you perceive them. Maybe the problem is Disney doesn't know how to tell good stories anymore, and instead are pushing woke bullshit instead of focusing on good characters and good stories. But no, I'm sure the shills, I'm sure the fucking losers out there who have been trying to make excuses for this thing for the past decade would never possibly acknowledge that. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. Smash a like button.
So this is an 8-minute, 36-second long video. And it seems like there's a bajillion channels like this that literally just do this. And I feel like it could just be AI generated at this point. You know? It feels so non-substantive in terms of what you could possibly say about something. Like you already kind of know exactly what they're going to say. It's all shit that's been said a billion times, right? Could you imagine if the entire YMS highlights channel, if every video was my 4K rant, right? I get fired up over shit. And I will continue to interject those types of things into my videos. Could you imagine if, like, the entire 8 minutes of every video was just the 4K rant, and that's all I had to say about anything? You know, that's like it's a very small portion. It's a very small portion of my content. All right, what? Oh my God. So here's what's interesting. The video that I did click on, Disney blasted for woke Snow White, which I haven't finished yet, and I'm just kind of tired, but I will watch right away. They've released another Disney Snow White one within like hours. It's so bizarre. These speech bubbles are funny. Everything just seems to be exaggerated in the most ridiculous way. Like, what do you mean it's over for Drew Barrymore? Nobody believes that. Nobody comes away with that interpretation. Nobody thinks that. Did Rachel Ziegler say anything close to men are trash? Did she say anything close to that? Did she? Can somebody? The word woke is in half of these. Woke. Literally woke. Woke. Like, it's, how can people be excited about this? How can people, I don't understand. It feels so, it's like somebody on a slot machine, right? I'm kind of worried for people that consume this content unironically. I'm worried for grandma.
Even though it seems like it might be a few years late, the new South Park special about joining the Panderverse, where all the main characters are race swapped and gender swapped, seems like the perfect way to make fun of modern entertainment in woke Hollywood. Because to be quite honest, over the past decade or so, we've seen this constant push, whether it's a 2016 all-female Ghostbusters reboot, or whether it's the desire to race swap so many of these characters. It's something that Hollywood has been catching flack for a long time. And I was planning on talking all about the new woke Snow White, starring Rachel Ziegler. Disney bragging about, we're so proud to have a Latina Snow White. We really love diversity and represent.
And when you decide to go all in on identity politics, including choosing who you cast for the role specifically for that reason, you shouldn't be surprised when it all blows up in your face. Nearly everybody on the internet despises Rachel Zegler as the new woke race swap Snow White, to the point where virtually any time news comes out, people are just questioning, is this thing canceled yet? Because they know it's going to lose Disney a shit ton of money as soon as they saw Rachel Zegler speaking out about how much she hated the original and how much they needed to change things for the modern era. One thing I was not expecting, though, was the announcement that came out today about a different Snow White project that has absolutely nothing to do with Disney, and in fact has to do with the Daily Wire, announcing Benke's first live-action feature film, Snow White and the Evil Queen, starring I'm Brett Cooper. Now, obviously, we know the Daily Wire, we saw Gina Carano's movie got put on their specific streaming service and all that stuff. We know they were getting in this. And they recently also today announced a bunch of content specifically for kids, non-political, non-woke, non-ideological, just fun entertainment for children on their new platform, Benke. And then they dropped this trailer and this article here on Deadline. The Daily Wire is making a live-action Snow White movie starring conservative YouTuber Brett Cooper. Watch the teaser here. And it's not too much, it's mostly just in the wilderness. You see her with an apple, a tale of timeless truth. We'll play a little bit of this for you.
Once upon a time, but now that time is gone.
And when I first saw this teaser, I was like, are they really, like, I saw the black hair, I'm like, are they really gonna do a Snow White? It's exactly what they're doing.
Is the South Park special out, Jamie? Is that released? Not yet? Okay, well, we don't really know. I'm assuming... Matt Stone and Trey Parker have the mentality of just, like, make fun of everybody. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like, relatively nuanced. But we'll see. They've had, you know, takes that I disagree with before. And that's fine.
Snow White and the Evil Queen starring Brett Cooper. Now, again, Snow White is public domain. You can make a Snow White movie. Now, the specific look of Snow White for, like, what we saw in the 1937 movie and the Seven Dwarves and the names, I think all that's copyrighted by Disney, but obviously, Snow White's been around a long, long time. And isn't it interesting, even in just the announcement, to hear the difference in the way, I don't know, the lead actors here, Brett Cooper speaks about Snow White versus Rachel Zegler. This is the statement from Brett Cooper. I was raised on the original Grimm's fairy tale, so I'm thrilled we're bringing this iconic story to life for the next generation. Snow White is such a beautiful character, and I'm honored to be playing her. Like all the best fairy tales, this is a story with timeless values like love, friendship, and kindness.
Do you think Brett Cooper has any kind of vested interest in, like, the idea of Snow White as a character beyond being hired for, like, she's literally just a talking head. She's literally just a talking head for the Daily Wire. So it's kind of weird to praise this quote of, like, you're essentially just saying she said what she was told to say. All right. You're kind of applauding her playing ball in a sense, which is kind of interesting.
And I can't wait to share them. Man, isn't that a little bit different than, I don't know, Rachel Zegler?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Or remember, of course, this one.
What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Yeah, a little bit different way of speaking about what you're about to do, isn't it? Now, I have no idea how this is going to be. I talked about Gina Carano's movie Terror on the
The stalking comment is like, okay, I don't know if I agree with that. that's exaggerative for sure. But for those two interview clips to be as if this was a Sniper Wolf situation, as if somebody actually did some serious harm to anything. It's just so it seems so disproportionate. It seems so, like, such a crazy thing to obsess over, right? I'm concerned. I'm concerned, and it's weird, and I don't know what to do.
Prairie obviously did not get a theatrical release that was just on streaming. This is also just going to be on their streaming platform, I'm pretty sure. But I had no idea what to expect for this. I was not expecting this announcement. At least Brett Cooper looks like Snow White in this promo, whereas you can't really say the same thing about Rachel Zegler. I was not expecting...
At least she's white.
Them to go straight up and challenge Disney with a live-action Snow White, but apparently that's what's happening. I said the same exact thing about all the Daily Wire stuff once these announcers started to get into that. I think it's great. I think it's great to have an alternative. What people don't want is the opposite of Hollywood. They don't want something that's going to be preaching other type of political values on you. That doesn't seem to be what this is. From the kids thing that they put out, which you can go check out the new Benke platform that they're putting out for children, to this. You know, if you want to think of Snow White turned around and put a MAGA hat on or some bullshit, that's not, people don't want propaganda on the other side. They just want propaganda-free entertainment. Very interested that they put this out. This might come out before Disney gets around to fixing theirs with the writer's strike and all that stuff. One thing I can almost promise you is that this is going to be more successful because with a nearly $300 million price tag,
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. The budget.
Estimated for the woke race swap Snow White for Disney, and that will get a theatrical release. You have to imagine that's going to be another disaster in the making for Disney. In all likelihood, might end up losing them over $100 million. And regardless of what this Daily Wire one does,
I mean, it might be a flop. It does. Is it really $300 million?
Can't imagine there'll be that much in the hole. But what do you guys think about this entire situation? Let me know in the comment section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you.
Wow. Is it really $300 million? All right. How much did Little Mermaid make? $570 million box office. Which doesn't include the whole you know, original being
$5.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that this is going to be successful. The new Snow White Disney. Maybe not in the way that they want it to be. Like, Snow White, its success is going to be determined by the fact that Snow White as an IP is not... It doesn't have a lot of fucking great, memorable songs like Little Mermaid. You know, there's songs that are from Snow White that are classics because it's so old. But, you know, it doesn't have bops. It doesn't have bangers. Yeah, Hi-Ho is not a... It's fine. Is there only one song in the movie? Scuttlebutt. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what Disney thinks that they're doing with did I finish that video? Did I click off of it? Wow, I finished the video. Did I? Yeah, I did. These thumbnails are so insane. Do we have like left versions of this same thing? Because like so I'm looking at this.
In 1969, Nixon destroys commie agenda by putting man on moon.
So I'm looking at the thumbnail for something like Gal Gadot officially done as Wonder Woman for DC. Did James Gunn lie to her? Like, it's over for her. You lied to me? Like, are we supposed to feel good about that? Did Gal Gadot say something woke once and we're supposed to be like, heh, you're gone? I'm trying to imagine, is there left-leaning content that is this repetitive and this spammed in this particular type of way? Is there, do we have examples of that? Because it seems really slanted. Oh my God, Pat, hello. We were just looking at our favorite YouTube channel, Ryan RK Outpost. And I was commenting on, so now we have a raid from some people. Can you help me understand? I'm trying to understand if, I guess you need to be a follower for a little bit to leave a comment, but anyway. I'm trying to understand if, does this exist from a left-leaning perspective? This sort of weird, repetitive, like fear and anger-based, spammed, exaggerated. Hassan, does Hassan do this? Let's see. Okay, so Hassan's talking about Israel Palestine, which seems to be what most left-leaning YouTubers are commenting on right now. And I'm not a fan of Hassan. I think Hassan's kind of dumb. But do we have left-leaning like media commentators that do this? TYT? Like anybody that talks about movies or anything like in this way, right? Because we have left-leaning YouTube channels, and maybe they'll use the word slams in the title or something like that. Is there a left-leaning woke movie that people view in such an institutional way that they get mad forever about something? I'm just trying to find a good parallel here. Barbie, sure. So if Barbie 2 came out and it wasn't as feminist, or sorry, that's not even the proper analogy. If Barbie 2 came out and one of the actors in Barbie 2 was like, it's not going to be as feminist as the first one, actually. Are there left-leaning channels that would make like 20 videos about it being like, this is going to be the worst movie ever. This is going to be the worst. And then they have these crazy thumbnails about, like, does that exist? Or is it just exclusively a right-leaning thing? Xanderhall, does that? Okay, let's look up Xanderhall. Okay, they're talking about other political commentators. They're talking about some banned streamers. I don't see anything about, like, is there any movie channel left-leaning that does this kind of thing? Even when the Harry Potter thing happened, even when the Harry Potter game came out, and people were like, "Don't play this game. You're transphobic." And some people really did take it too far. Like the harassing people for playing it. I completely disagree. So if you take that one example of one piece of media where everybody seems to be, well, a lot of people seem to be riled up about it, and you have some people on the left, not everybody, but some people on the left that decided to get diped up about that for a little bit. Could you imagine if that was like every day? Mostly a Twitter thing? Yeah, I don't consider Twitter people real at this point. I'm just trying to think, like, yeah, Hogwarts Legacy came and went. People got diped up about that for a little bit. But just imagine doing this all the time. It just seems so exhausting. Anyway, I'm fucking tired, as you can tell from just how tired I've seemed this entire time.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. My $5 and up patrons of October 2023 are Clarice Carlson, Morgan, Tyler Cukes, Nico Fuentes, Joel999, Wrigglemoss, Speak of the Joker, Scott S, Jonah Fart, Sknot On, Happy the Knife, Coolest Shirt, Just a Portuguese Dude, www.openclassactions.com, Emil, Blank, Judum the Kinslayer, Big Guy, No Rope, T-King, Saliv88, Yup, Caden Mac, Charisma, The Super One Player, Zachary Kane, Gilly Flower, Purple Fire, Gabriel Herrera, Hoofy Doe, and Lemonade Warrior is participating in the hit game Among Us and is considered the encroacher. Stay safe out there, everybody.